Hi there guys, I'm going to do a quick review of this Motion9 cage, Cube Alpha cage by Motion9 for the Sony A7, A7R and A7S. Currently I've got the A7S fitted in there. I actually requested a smaller handle. The actual handle that comes with the unit is a quick release one, I believe, but I wanted the smaller one, which normally comes with their Blackmagic pocket camera cage, I believe. You have to forgive me, I've got a bit of a cold, so my voice is a little bit quiet. But yeah, I've had this for around 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm pretty pleased with it. When it originally arrived, there were a few things that needed tweaking, but now I've kind of got used to the form factor. I'm really quite happy with it. Very sturdy, very small actually. So first thing I go into, it doesn't really need any quality control torque. I mean, it's really well made, really nice actually. 100% fine with that. One annoying thing is that the when handling it in sort of traditional DSLR style, it's actually quite hard to access the shutter release button. As you can see, mainly because of the fact that Sony decided to put their shutter release button there rather than in the natural position which should be there. Other than that, everything's cool. Again, silly position of the record button. Thanks Sony. Obviously the cage manufacturers at Motion9, they can't really do anything about that. So the cage fits the camera perfectly, really nice, and it really feels sturdy. You put the camera on a tripod and it's rock solid. Good balance, really good balance on the handle. Everything feels right, even when you put a large lens on there. I've just got a little Flare Factory 58 on there, Metabones EF adapter. The Mark IV version, as you can see, without the lens on there. Again, still good balance really. I'm quite pleased with that. Small HD DP4, a bit dirty, sorry about that. Been out in the rain. Yeah, there's just a few kind of annoying little features, like the fact that the bolt there to go through and into this kind of articulating kind of mount for this, this isn't part of the rig itself. I kind of modified that, but it's just the fact that the threaded hole is positioned so that if you want to put a bolt through there, it doesn't butt up against, due to the fact that the actual hole that they put is just slightly too high. They could have brought it back down ever so slightly so that that could butt against, and then when you're actually holding it, that won't be quite you know, kind of interfering with your index finger. Admittedly, that's a small detail, but it's little things like that that you kind of don't really expect. But you could say a wooden camera cage wouldn't have something like that. That would have been noticed and probably rectified before it went to manufacture. Bearing in mind the actual cage came with that type of bolt to hold the handle on, you'd expect that when using the same type of bolts, they'd have allowed enough clearance there. But you know, that aside, I mean, that's just a minor problem. I've actually removed the or I haven't even installed the locking mechanism for the HDMI wires. I mean, that works great. For some reason, the actual sorry, it's pretty hard to do this, but for some reason these were very long. In effect, the way it works is that these go in place like so, and then your HDMI wire protector slides on in place and then tightens. Originally these were really long, they kind of came out to there, kind of for you could use them as a handle, I guess, but I don't think that's really something that I really wanted, so I've cut them down. But to be honest, I'm not going to use that because I've actually got my own, something that I made, which in effect gives you an upright HDMI full size, which will feed the Odyssey 7Q or the Atomos Shogun. Another quite nice detail, I'll just take this tripod plate off. I'm not going to show it, but in effect this portion here moves forward to give you extra footprint, so if you're using heavier lenses, just kind of increases the overall footprint onto which your tripod plate will mount to. Put that down. Another detail, in the same way that these little things kind of go into the side there, there's a slightly larger one that goes into the back, but as you can see it's really not very large diameter, and it's aluminium, and as you can see I've put two thicknesses of rubber tubing, one that fits perfectly onto it and then a bigger one again. As you can see, the diameter is perfect now and it's really comfortable. Previously, with that very small diameter aluminium rod, it really was quite uncomfortable, particularly when you've got a lot of weight there. But now with this wider diameter and the rubber padding, it's really good. So yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased with it. That's pretty much it. I mean, it does what it says on the tin, provides you with a nice forward position for the EVF if you wanted to use one, or the Atomos Shogun. Putting this on, for example, is really nice because, you know, you put that there, you can, you know, put your eye up to the eyepiece there, and you've got a nice kind of solid video camera type position, and it's actually really quite nice to use. Or you could shoot like this, for example. Yeah, but it's a nice solid little system, and well worth the money. I think it was £180 delivered, with a few little tweaks like that. For example, I've actually super glued the rod in, because during use it kind of unscrews, and the last thing you want is to be taking the weight and then that to come off, and then you'll just lose the whole camera on the floor. But now with that glued in place and with that extra bulk, it's really good. It's pretty comfortable, as long as you're not expecting to be able to take stills with it in the cage. I mean, you can take stills with it, but having that button inaccessible there is really quite annoying. They couldn't have done anything about it. It's just the fact that Sony decided to put the button in a stupid place. As you can see, those who are familiar with the A7 range, I've actually done a modification to mine, using an LED, a red LED, which I cut the dome off the top, superglued that on top of the existing record button, and then superglued a rubber O-ring with the same internal diameter, 5mm, just for a bit of protection. Now it's a lot easier to access the button, and say if you're feeling around in the dark for the record button, it's a lot easier to access. Obviously that's voided my warranty, but it's a price I was willing to pay, based on the fact that it's just so annoying not being able to find that record button when you're trying to work quickly and efficiently. So overall, bearing in mind that this cage costs slightly less than the official battery grip which I was previously using, the battery grip was pretty good, because it brings the EVF up to eye level when the battery grip is resting on your shoulder. That provides a really sturdy shooting position. However, the use of a larger EVF or LCD viewfinder is really helpful, and I'm now using this a lot more efficiently and a lot more in a video camera style rather than a stills camera style. So the battery grip now remains on the A7R, which I'm actually shooting this video through at the moment. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this, and I probably wouldn't hesitate to recommend it, assuming you were looking for a cage. I haven't tested any others, but I'm certainly happy with this one, and it definitely adds value to the entire rig, or the entire camera as a video camera. So yeah, top marks, with only a few modifications which are pretty easy to do. If you want to know more detailed information about what type of pipe to use and stuff like that, leave a message and I'll be happy to direct you to the correct tube diameters. Anyway, hope this is helpful. Cheers!